Hello everyone, welcome back to On Blast with MG with your host Matt, your resident nurse. So I want to go over real quick a few things that I've done around the house and that I do every day to keep myself and my family as safe as possible in this time of coronavirus COVID-19. Maybe it'll give you some ideas of what you can and cannot do. So let's get started. Basically on a daily basis, I can take you for a quick tour around my house. It's just pretty small. But again, I'm a nurse, so I don't make a ton of money. What you want to have around your house, if you don't already, is obviously some hand sanitizer. You need to sanitize your hands, wash your hands as often as possible. It's very, very important. It always has been in our field, nursing. Hand washing is one of the most important things you can do to prevent infection for yourself and others. So this is nothing new, but if you don't have hand sanitizer that you can purchase, which I think nowadays are a little bit easier to get a hold of, you could go on YouTube or Google and you could probably find a way to make some hand sanitizer out of other things like rubbing alcohol, a variety of items that you can use to make something that will work. In my case, I spent about 2 days looking for Lysol. I've never used Lysol before in my household, but it's actually a good product and it should probably be in every household at this point. So unfortunately, I couldn't find any. So I went ahead on just what I suggested and looked online, and lo and behold, there was a way I could make some type of solution that's similar to Lysol that would hopefully help me in keeping my household free from bad viruses and bacteria. So what I did is 50% solution, so 50% water, 50% rubbing alcohol, isopropyl alcohol. And so 50% water, 50% rubbing alcohol. You could also put in there some fragrant, maybe some oils, fragrant oils. In my case, I put in a little bit of some of this rose oil, which we use for the humidifier. And it smells pretty good. So what I do a lot of the times is I spray, especially my shoes, and bringing us to our shoe collection. As you can see, it's right by the door. You don't want to bring in anything from the outside, especially when you've been working as a nurse or really just gone out shopping. You don't want to bring in whatever you have on the bottom of your shoes and run it through all through your house. So you want to take your shoes off outside at the front door, bring them inside and put them on a shoe rack. What I do then is I go ahead and spray the bottom of my shoes with this rubbing alcohol solution and spray all around the area that I may have walked in with my shoes. That's so that makes me feel better. It's something that, will definitely reduce the amount of the virus that's laying around on any particular surface. It may not take it all away, but it will reduce it. And as we've seen with this particular virus, and what has been lately on the news is that, if you're exposed to a larger amount of the virus, you may get sicker, as opposed to being exposed to a smaller amount of the virus, you might become less sick. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. I don't want to spread rumors, but it does make sense. Also, what I do is I daily, a couple of times a day at least minimum, but usually more like 3 or 4 times a day, I run through the house with my case, a cavi wipe, which is a disinfecting towel that's more clinical use that kills all sorts of different virus, bacteria, all types of things. So again, I want to stress that whatever disinfectant wipes you are using, you need to look at the manufacturer's instructions, and they usually have, for example, in this case, if I could find that really quick, you have to leave after wiping the particular object, you have to leave it for 3 minutes to air dry before it's considered disinfected. So every single one has some sort of instructions mirroring those, with a specific amount of time you need to leave the solution on to air dry before it's safe to touch. Okay, so grab one of these. You always need to wear your gloves. When you do this, clean gloves if you have them, you know, important. And then go ahead and start disinfecting all your high touch surfaces, doorknobs, key, you know, locks, things that you touch on a regular basis, you know, light switches, on and off light switches, you know, you touch these all day long. Your coffee table, you're always touching the coffee table. You need to go in there and just wipe everything down. Everything that you could think of that is a high touch surface that you constantly are touching, you need to go in there and wipe it down. Your remote controls, you know, you need to wipe these guys down, you know, several times a day, especially if you go out and you're coming back in. You need to wipe these down on a regular basis. It's important. You're touching them all the time. You play video games, you know, regularly wipe down those controllers. All the knobs around your house, you know, like constantly go in there, especially in the kitchen. Let's turn some light on, you know, the knobs to get your utensils. What sense does it make if you haven't wiped your knobs and you open it, it's potentially contaminated, and you're grabbing your spoon or your fork to eat your dinner with? Your knobs for the gas, for the stove, you know, these you use all the time. You need to really stop and think of all the things that you are using on a regular basis and wipe those down. You know, all high touch surfaces, all knobs, everything that you're working with on a daily basis in your house is really important to make sure that they're clean. In some cases, and sometimes, I walk around with that spray ball, that solution that I made, and I'll spray pretty much everywhere. You know, I have a small child, so I want to make sure that it is as clean as possible in my house. You know, his table and chairs, you know, he's touching this all the time. You know, you need to go in and wipe down the whole table, you know, in and out, the chairs, the sides of the chairs where he's grabbing and he's holding his, you know, what he's holding on to when he's having dinner, etc. Your bathroom. Hi, Fuzzy. Fuzzy wants to say hi. Say hi, Fuzzy. Hi. There she goes. That's Fuzzy. So, you know, this, I'm just walking around the house so you get an idea of what it is that, you know, I'm dealing with on a daily basis, and maybe you'll get some ideas from that. You know, wiping all the high touch surfaces, all the doorknobs, all of, you know, the toilet area, you know, the toilet button, whatever you call it, the lights, the toilet paper holder, the toilet bowl. You know, you want to maybe get a clean one and a new one and wipe your toilet bowls specifically only with that. You know, everything that you're touching, you need to wipe. You need to wipe and make sure it's clean. Are you going to be able to get all of them? Probably not, but do your best to get as much as you possibly can. It's important, and it might just save your life. Okay, so we'll go out to the car, and same idea at the car. I'll show you guys what to, you know, if you are using your car on a regular basis for work, if you're a nurse, or if you're working in any other field that is a priority now, you need to make sure your car is also safe. So we'll go out there really quick and I'll show you what I do with my car, and then we'll end this video. Okay, welcome back. Now we're outside. This is my vehicle, and before we go in it, I want to make sure you guys, before you get into your vehicle, make sure you are as clean as possible. Wash your hands, disinfect your cell phone, do, you know, if you can, you know, wipe down your watch, your glasses, anything you can do to make sure you are as disinfected as possible before you get into your car. But once you do, you know, you want to make sure. What I do is I clean my car a couple of times a day, sometimes even more, starting with the door handle. You know, this, you touch this day in and day out, so you want to basically clean this every single time you get in and out of your car. And again, when you're in your car, you want to get all your high touch surfaces, you know, your door handles, your opening handles, you know, your windows, you know, up and down, your steering wheel, you know, all the way around. You need to wipe this down all the way around. Make sure all of your high touch surfaces are wiped as well as you can get them wiped. Okay, your buttons, I use my car is it no longer has a key, so this is a button I use all the time. What I do now is I use my knuckle to turn on the car and turn off the car. It's the knuckle is, I'm not using, it's not touching a lot of things when I'm out there, dealing with patients. It's most likely, I've washed my hands obviously before I come into the car, but it's still a good thing just to be safe. Your gear shift, you want to wipe this down, and again, the most important thing is you want to, before you actually get into your car, you want to make sure you're as clean as possible. You wash your hands, you disinfected your phone, your eyeglasses if you're wearing them, and then when you get in, wipe down your car. Do it a few times a day. You want to reduce the amount of potential pathogen that's sitting around on your high touch surfaces that you're dealing with on a daily basis. Okay, there you go. This is what I've got going on. Hope you stay safe, and hope your family's safe. And if you need anything, just shoot me a comment. If you have a question, shoot me a comment in the comment section, and maybe I can help. Okay? Thank you.